Hi, fellow readers. My name is Greg, and this is Ghost Readers in the Sky, where I start with the history and literature of the American West and then gallop off in whatever direction I feel like. Today is another Tag Tuesday, and this is an original tag that I haven't seen people doing much yet. Marlicia's Meanderings put this together, and it's called Comfort versus Nostalgic Reads tag. I think it's an interesting concept, really looking at what's the difference, if any, between comfort reads and nostalgic reads. Marlicia has a lot of information to explain the difference, at least in the way she's thinking about them. I'll read a little bit of this, and then I'll put the full comments in the description below. She writes, I believe this is an original book tag, though it may pull some themes from previous tags unintentionally. The goal of this tag is to take a look at what, if anything, is the difference between a comfort read and a nostalgic read, if there's any overlap, and what place they hold in our reading lives. Here's the basic definition that she provides for comfort reads. A comfort read is a book that you return to again and again for enjoyment, familiarity, and a sense of ease, often when you need something to soothe or distract you. These books are typically well-loved, familiar, and bring a sense of warmth and cheer. And then for a nostalgic read, a nostalgic read is a book that evokes feelings of sentimental longing or wistful affection for a specific time or period in the past. Often linked to personal memories or childhood experiences, it's a book that resonates with the reader on a personal level, triggering a sense of familiarity and perhaps even a bit of sadness or bittersweetness. Here are the prompts. Number 1, do your comfort reads tend to fall into a specific genre or genres? My go-to for the bulk of my reading life has been adventure, and so that's what I tend to go back to. I kind of read across the spectrum of adventure, from westerns to historical adventures to crime, mystery. So those are the genres I usually go back to when I'm looking for something that's a comfort to me. Prompt number 2, what about nostalgic reads? What genres do they tend to fall into? Do these books tend to fall into stories from your childhood and adolescence, or are some more recent? Do you have these books on your shelves? Do you often reread them? Yeah, nostalgic books. Both. Comfort books are things I reread, obviously, but nostalgic books, again, are things that I tend to reread. Sometimes they invoke memories of childhood, so books that my grandmother had on her bookshelf. She had quite a few books that were written for what we would now call young adult readers, some abridged classics, some Bobbsey twins and some Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, some Thornton W. Burgess animal books, as well as abridged classics like Call of the Wild and Treasure Island. Those kinds of books definitely bring back a nostalgia. The other thing that I think about a lot, I know I've mentioned this 14,219 times on this channel already, but my grandfather's favorite author was Zane Grey, and I have so many memories of him sitting in his recliner reading a Zane Grey book. And so when I read Zane Grey, I can't help but think of my grandfather and how much he enjoyed those books throughout the entire time that I knew him. A lot of what my shelves consist of, and I don't keep a lot of physical books, but a lot of what is on my shelves are those nostalgic and comfort reads that I do go back to all the time. Prompt 3. What makes a book a comfort read for you? When are you most likely to pull out a comfort read? I'll pull out a comfort read most anytime I feel like it, but I think I am most likely to do so if I'm in a bit of a reading slump. I remember I got in a pretty big reading slump last summer where it just seemed like I couldn't finish a book. I would start something, I would be enjoying it, and I just couldn't keep going. So I went back to Ian Rankin and his Inspector Rebus books, and I read the first one again, Knots and Crosses, and it just made me remember how much I love Ian Rankin's writing, how much I love the character of Rebus, and it got me started again. I do find it amusing that a lot of my comfort reads are fairly brutal and violent books, but I find it really helpful to just remember why I fell in love with a particular author or a particular character in the first place. Number 4, what makes a book a nostalgic read for you? Do the same situations that lead you to read a comfort read book lead you to read a nostalgic book? If not, what leads you to choose one type of book over the other? Nostalgia, I will read sometimes just because I've been reminded of it. A lot of these booktube events that I participate in, I see somebody's reading, for example, The Maltese Falcon, which is one of my favorite books, and it is much more nostalgic than comfort, I think. Maybe it goes, I don't even know. That's a hard one to separate for me. And then I just pull nostalgia off my shelves. I really want to read what I want to read, not what anybody else tells me I should read. So while I'm using booktube events to kind of line things up, if there's an event and I have a book that has some nostalgia for me, I'll read it. And if I want to read a book that's nostalgic that doesn't go along with any event, I read it. Number 5, do any, some, all, or none of these books act as both comfort and nostalgic reads? Yeah, well, as I was talking about The Maltese Falcon, I realized I had a hard time putting that into one category or another. Some are much more one side or the other. Anything that I read as a kid, any of those YA type books, so Hardy Boys, for example, I find those to be just nostalgic. But then there's a lot of crossover between nostalgia and comfort with books I've read as I've grown up. A lot of books I do associate with specific times in my life, with specific people who recommended books to me or who were reading similar books when I was. So I think that they can be both, although I think for me it's more likely that nostalgia will stand alone There are some books that are just nostalgic for me. Yeah, comfort is a subset of nostalgia as I think about it. All right, number 6. What are your top comfort reads? What are your top nostalgic reads? Treasure Island crosses both. It's one of my favorite books ever. Kidnapped is much more of a comfort book. Both of those are by Robert Louis Stevenson. The Zane Grey books are all nostalgic for me. A lot of the detective books that I've read are, well, they have some nostalgia. They're really more comfort books. So Tony Hillerman's Lee Porn and Chi, James Lee Burke's Dave Robichaux, I mentioned Ian Rankin, Inspector Rebus, and so many others. These are the kind of books that I go back to just all the time. Number 7. Are there books that were once comfort or nostalgic reads that have fallen out of favor? If yes, what caused that to happen? I don't think so. I have noticed in the world of television that things that I really enjoyed as a kid, I look at them again as an adult and think, what was I thinking? This is not a good TV show. The Dukes of Hazzard springs to mind there. But with books, I can't think of any time where I've ever had that experience. Television, often. But books, no, if I liked a book, I tend to continue to like it. It's more common that I go the other way, and there's some books that I didn't enjoy or didn't finish sometime in the past that I go back to and read now and really enjoy it. Prompt 8. Did or do you share these books with your children as they grow up, or family members or special friends? I'm always pushing the books that I love onto other people. I find that it's really nice to find that place where there's crossover between what I'm reading and what my friends are reading. And I try to do the same with what I receive as recommendation from friends. So yeah, I do share these. I'm also not offended. Actually, I think that's prompt 9. Let me just see. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to flow right into prompt 9. Does it bother you if someone doesn't appreciate a book that holds a special place in your heart, either due to nostalgia or the comfort it provides? Nah. We all have different tastes. We all have different experiences. We're all at different points in our lives. There are books that are thrilling to me that I can read over and over again, that other people, for whatever reason, it just doesn't resonate with them, and vice versa. There are well-loved books that I just don't care for as much. Doesn't mean they're bad books. It just means they don't resonate's the best word I can come up with. They don't resonate with me in a way that makes me want to read or reread them. And if that's how other people feel about the books that I love most, so be it. We all have our own tastes. We all have our own things that really speak to us, and I think you should read those books that speak to you. You should try new things, at least on occasion. But if it doesn't work, even if it's your best friend who recommended it, it's okay to say, yeah, this just didn't work for me. There's only one more prompt, it's tag people, and so I will do that. So thanks, Marlicia, for putting this tag together and for tagging me in this. I hope a bunch of other people do this tag. It's an interesting way to think about books that I've read in the past, and I have enjoyed contemplating and talking about nostalgic and comfort reads. So, till next time, my name is Greg, and this is Ghost Readers in the Sky.